All right, folks, we're back, and we're still waiting to find out who the next player is for Team Lei Fang. So, what I really hope isn't going to be the case here, right? It's like I actually don't want Drogo to 5-0. While it'd be impressive and good for him and good for the house and players get money, I would like to get more games out of this. That being said, I'm actually talking to him right now. So apparently the reason Drogo went first in the roster is because he's actually quite tired and wants to go to sleep. So that's like,
it's so perfect.
It's not match fixing or throwing if you're sleepy. I'm just saying more game. No, but in all seriousness, I was asking because I wanted to know who else was awake and who else was around. Like maybe if this is a 5-0, could we drum up like $50 and throw like a micro tournament with players inside the house or something, right? But I guess we'll wait and see what the score is before we get into that, because we don't. Basically, what I'm saying, guys, is I didn't want to wake up at 4 a.m. for an hour's worth of games. You know what I'm saying? Wait,
yeah, I was like a little afraid that would. Shh. No cry. Only dream.
No cry. That feel when you're not good enough to be in the lobby, guys. You're not good enough to be in the games.
Anyways, I was like a little scared of that happening, but of the people I thought were gonna 5-0, I definitely didn't think it was Drogo.
Snipe Hunt. Thank you very much for the 100 bits. Of course, apologies to Baracus as overkill mode is broken. You know, I'm just going to change it. Overkill mode is clearly not working. I'm going to see if progressive mode works better. This is actually really irritating since it keeps breaking every time we scene swap. So we'll go with... progressive mode. No, strength. What's strength mode? Let's try strength mode. See how that works. That's a new feature. The bits.
Interesting.
Itty bitty bits. Anyways, we're in the lobby. Cactus Valley, ready to go whenever they are. If Drogo does 5-0, you should just stream co-op Andromeda. I mean, it would be fun, but I think I'd rather do a little bit more StarCraft for the viewers, man.
Well, there's StarCraft co-op.
Yeah, that's true. I think I'd rather just, like, if the other 4 members who may not get to play today, make them do, like, a single elimination tournament or something. So, like, 2 best of 3s, a best of 5. Put up like $50 for the winner, something like that. I don't know.
Why is Drogo tired? I'm just thinking on it.
He's too busy getting all the Korean honeys.
I'd believe that.
Actually, I don't know if you guys have seen. Again, No Regrets been doing a lot of like IRL streaming, and it's just really funny. Like, I think it's the white guy in Korea effect, but also Drogo's just like an actually pretty decent looking dude. So, telling stories on stream about all these women who are just coming up to him and randomly asking for pictures.
No, yeah, it's
Je ne
totally.
sais pas. All right.
I am not.
Game number 4. This is the second to last player available for Team Lei Fang. At the top left, he's pretty good though. It's the red Protoss, Hurricane.
In the bottom right is the purple Protoss. He is Drogo.
All right, so Drogo's on a bit of a tear right now with 3-0 in his pocket. There's certainly no shame if he loses anything going forward, but again, going back on the fact that I really truly believe his PvP is top notch, I think it'll be really difficult for Hurricane or Seed to dethrone him.
Yeah, it's got to be. It's not a snipe. It's got to be like either a really good game or a really surprise tactic, I think, to beat Drogo. So I am, a little worried that he's gonna 5-0 or pleased or whatever emotion. Point is, I think he has an end of 5-0 against the remaining 2 players, and they really gotta step it up. I mean, Hurricane has been playing. I do like, as far as the other guys that we've seen, like definitely Pet included, but also the Chinese players. We don't see them very often. We don't see them participating very often. Obviously, they're training hard in the house, but we just don't see any results. Hurricane does occasionally get results.
I actually gotta say, if you guys didn't see, going back to the IRL stream reference once again, Jake was IRL streaming the GSL qualifiers, and Hurricane versus Major, granted Major won, but Hurricane and Major was like a really sick PVT.
Yeah, there you go. So, I see Hurricane doing it. Seed, though, that's the other guy that's left. Yeah, Seed is just also like a huge question mark of. Well, you used to see the guy all the time, but not anytime recently.
Dude, Bacon Hero is all about smacking down nerds with them 100 bits.
Right? I don't want to
Bane's
try and do
voice.
Bane's voice.
Why be anything but a fat mob if even the biggest becomes small eventually, fat man?
Well, if
That was my
Overkill
attempt.
works. That was pretty good. Like,
There was this
8 out of
stupid
10, yeah.
trend for a while where people were taking their headphones and twisting them sideways on their head so it would like make the mask for Bane. I loved seeing all those pictures.
Dorks.
Absolutely, but still loved it nonetheless. Now Drogo's gonna plant down a pylon. We saw him do this last time, but I think this time around he's looking to add a gateway to it. He also catches the Adepts in the middle of the map, which is absolutely
yeah.
fantastic. So the Mothership Core now knows she can't really move out. She's gonna be better off at home defending. She's gonna kill one of the Adepts straight up. Nice catch here
nice.
for Drogo.
Yeah, this is super nice. Like, even without the extra gateway, he might have just been able to pile on a lot of pressure. But Hurricane is actually playing pretty safe by going for a Robo on one base. And I'm thinking this is for safety rather than like a clash of all-ins here. As it's going to be very useful. He actually manages to scout this happening, but I don't think he can get a freebie cancel. Drogo has 2 more Stalkers. He actually doesn't respond to this immediately either. Drogo might just be able to save this. He's running, man. Cactus Valley's a long map.
Yeah, he's actually. I like the way he's kind of disengaging with the Stalkers. He was mostly
go.
just trying to take shield damage at most. He can certainly win out the Stalker fight when it comes to the 2-on-2, but maybe not the 4-on-2. But as the gateway finishes up, more Warpins will come into play, and this is where he gets those reinforcements right there on the front line.
Like, I think they can kill a pylon though.
Well, the problem is though, if they shoot the pylon, they're not shooting the Stalkers. New probe comes in, new pylon. Oh, he's got to run away though. The one Stalker's so low.
I'm glad you brought a pylon. This might still not be worth dedicating to though.
You know what? I don't know if he saw that. Okay, he did see the other pylon, so I'm like, chasing the Stalker seems a little bit silly now.
Yeah, that I do agree with that. This is like risking, giving away way too many units because he has an Immortal on the way. As long as he has anything protecting that Immortal should be king. But if it's only the Immortal, then that might be questionable. I guess it's supposed to overcharge now, like puts the pylon down first. Very, smart move, and definitely save that Nexus for later. Because I mean, if you dedicate this much, Drogo's not gonna have his own Nexus. I think Drogo might be a little trumped here, Unless he gets that Immortal, goes a little bit too far forward. Does pop the barrier.
Yeah, that's actually really nice. There's no blink to really get on top of it and catch it, though. I like that Hurricane pulls back, recognizes the situation. There's a bit of guessing games going on, too, because Hurricane doesn't know that Drogo doesn't have a natural down, but with this amount of armor, you can kind of guess.
Yeah, for sure. Immortal's still a little bit dangerous, but we have sentries coming out here. A good force field might actually turn against him. Again, that Immortal is getting weaker and weaker, and Adepts now come through.
Second Immortal, though, I think is going to be pretty good.
Oh, no, it's not an element of shade, yeah.
Even if he did complete it, I don't think there'd be much you could do. Another Overcharge is going to buy a bit more time, and for Hurricane, as time goes on further and further, the Immortals become better and better. Like, this is not an army that is... There's no value being invested in here for Drogo. I love that he does let a couple of these complete.
Yeah, that was very neat, in fact. Because, like, one thing Drogo could do is... They both realize or guess, or either variation of, that there's no second Nexus. Drogo could theoretically contain and try and play like a decent game if he manages to get like a decent number of probes in the main base killed. Like if it's 22 to 17 probes, that might be him winning out even without Immortals.
Well, his Immortals get cut off on the wrong side of the force field, so they're going to go down.
Nice.
This is the best thing Hurricane had going for him. I don't know why he was fighting away from pylons in the first place.
Oh, well, you think you have 2 Immortals against, like, mostly Stalkers. You think you're going to win.
Well, I mean, that's the thing. You're, like, on almost 3 Immortals. That would have locked this down for certain. But Hurricane perhaps getting a little bit greedy, extending like that. Or maybe he was just too busy chasing the main, but the Mothership Core is going to go down, too. So no more overcharges.
Oh, those sentries, though.
With no Nexus now, no one's really getting a money advantage. So it is really just going to come down to these army fights. Macro's kind of, like, I think, not part of the equation right now.
Yeah, right. Like, they're not going to build any more probes.
The Immortal gets caught with the sentries once again.
Yeah.
But new Immortal's going to pop out in a few seconds. If you keep enough of the army alive... I mean, so much of Drogo's army is almost dead.
That is true, and a lot of it's, of course, in those sentries as well, which you think would have died already, considering how light they are, but barely holding on there.
I mean, army supply is so close to even. The Warpins are a little bit closer for Hurricane, too, so I think getting that front lines is actually a very important factor here. Doesn't quite get that last sentry. There we go. Oh, God, this is...
think about Drogo force building his opponent off, but that almost worked.
Almost. Problem is, though, I think the Immortal... Once again, we keep talking about these Immortals. I think this time it'll finally be the trump card he's been looking for.
Yeah, well, it was definitely those force fields that even made it questionable when there was 2 Immortals in the first place. So this should have, I feel, been maybe even like an automatic win. Like to go for a Robo against someone who's proxying pure stock, well, almost pure Stalkers is just... It seems so good.
Yes, I agree. But also, like, I feel like Hurricane should have won, but mistakes were made. Almost a throw.
Yeah.
Like, Like this could have gone very badly in many different ways, and Drogo probably shouldn't have had the option to win, but almost did.
This is questionable by Hurricane. He's even, for some reason, he's also walking away right now. Like that was weird.
Mothership Core comes out. I don't know where you put that overcharge, because the army can just walk around it.
Oh, it's on the front. The army's already. Well,
yeah, that Immortal's kiting really well. I think he's going to be able to take out enough of the Stalkers that this should be an easy hold from this point on.
Okay.
And with no more Warpins, that's finally the King of the Hill gets dethroned, I guess you can call it. It's not a King of the Hill, but it became one when Drogo won 3-0.
Yeah. I thought for sure Drogo was going to really rush that the main mineral line, especially if the overcharge went on the front pylon. And if he had rushed the mineral line with the Adepts and just left the Immortal alone, that might have been 10 probe kills. And in this situation, that could have been, well, enough to maybe make it into a game again for Drogo. As it is currently, it's not really looking too hot. I did see the Stargate on the production tab. I just forgot to like notice it. So there's an Oracle on the way, and that could, I guess, also get 10 probe kills. It'd be so unexpected, especially when he sees the Nexus. But his Mothership Core would probably have energy again. Yeah, it already does.
I mean, there's a lot of technicalities here. Like, Hurricane technically can't push up that ramp. Force Fields could hold on. But then he doesn't have a Nexus. If he doesn't have a Nexus, he's lost the game. So there's unfortunate scenarios here for Drogo.
Yeah, unless the Oracle gets like 10 plus probe kills.
Even then, there's a Mothership Core, there's pylons. I don't know.
He waits for the transfer, maybe. Yeah, well, I still agree with you, of course. Like, especially the Warp Prism, there should be no way that Drogo holds against the superior army.
Yeah. It might just be a game too, yeah. Like every probe could die and it still wouldn't be enough. But the overcharge goes off. He hugs the probes to the right pylon. Nicely done. Stalker gonna whittle away at this.
Two probes is not what he was looking for.
Well, no, you said the Warp Prism so far. At least getting higher on vision or something. I mean, this pylon's a bit of a bluff, right? Drogo doesn't have a Mothership Core.
That's a good way to put it. Lucid Phoenix hopefully noticed that. Doing that, what Drogo just did right there, is risky. There are, in fact, sentries left over. He might try and snipe the sentries.
That's what I thought he was going to try and do, right? To prevent the force field so he could move down. That's what makes this so dangerous. As time goes on, this gets worse and worse, though, for Drogo's. Hurricane does have this natural base up.
And he's warped in enough Stalkers to take care of the Oracle. That was, like, the one thing, is that you overcharge the wrong location, there's no defenses for your probes at all anymore. But now there's 3 Stalkers. That's not true.
Okay, so he does bait the force field, but he still goes through with the Adepts. I think.
Oh, he saved him. Nice. Yep. That's it.
Well, you know, Drogo killed over like 50% of Team Lei Fang. So, again, there's no shame if he dies here.
And he almost made it work when it really wasn't supposed to. So.
Well, it's not only that he almost won the game of the attack, he almost recovered in a defense, something I did not think would happen.
Yeah, I really wondered. There's tons of points where, played out differently, Hurricane would have won no problem, but also played out differently, Drogo brings it back. So, it was still a fun 1 base versus 1 base. GG.
All right, Lei Fang gets a point on the board, and I've actually not been updating the score here on the out of game overlay, so let me do that real quick. Now 3 to 1, still in the favor of base trade. But now we get to find out, is it Scarlet, Major, or sort of? I would say Kelazur, but apparently Kelazur's just disappeared, and they literally don't know where he is at the moment. So he might come back and be like the ace in the hole, but perhaps unwillingly. I don't know. Either way, we're going to go talk to Drogo really quick because he's kind of the intermittent team captain for today. No Regret is actually working on editing some vlogs, so you guys will see some cool Base Trade TV content come out of that. I guess his YouTube channel in a little bit. But Proxima, Undergrounds, and Paladin are left before we repeat the map pool, if this goes past 7. Either way, we're going to go to commercial break. 501 bits from the Rabbit 22. Hello, it's been a while. Keep up the good work. Thank you for the cheers and congratulations on being the bit boss. We'll see you guys in 2 minutes.